Chapter 41 of Initials Only. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Anna Roberts. Initials Only by Anna Katharin Green. Book 3, The Heart of Man. Chapter 41, 5 o'clock in the morning. The clock in the hotel office struck 3. Orlando Brotherson counted the strokes, then went on writing. His transom was partly open, and he had just heard a step go by his door. This was nothing new. He had already heard it several times before that night. It was Mr. Challoner's step, and every time it passed, he had rustled his papers or scratched vigorously with his pen. "He is keeping watch for Oswald," was his thought. "They fear a sudden end to this. No one, not the son of my mother, knows me. Do I know myself?" 4 o'clock. The light was still burning, the pile of letters he was writing increasing. 5 o'clock. A rattling shade betrays an open window. No other sound disturbs the quiet of the room. It is empty now, but Mr. Challoner, long since satisfied that all was well, goes by no more. Silence has settled upon the hotel, that heavy silence which precedes the dawn. There was silence in the streets also. The few who were abroad crept quietly along. An electric storm was in the air, and the surcharged clouds hung heavy and low, biding the moment of outbreak. A man who had left a place of many shadows for the more open road paused and looked up at these clouds, then went calmly on. Suddenly the shriek of an approaching train tears through the valley. Has it a call for this man? No. Yet he pauses in the midst of the street he is crossing, and watches, as a child might watch, for the flash of its lights at the end of the darkened vista. It comes, filling the empty space at which he stares with moving life, engine, baggage car, and a long string of Pullmans. Then all is dark again, and only the noise of its slackening wheels comes to him through the night. It has stopped at the station. A minute longer and it has started again, and the quickly lessening rumble of its departure is all that remains of this vision of man's activity and ceaseless expectancy. When it is quite gone and all is quiet, a sigh falls from the man's lips, and he moves on, but this time, for some unexplainable reason, in the direction of the station. With lowered head he passes along, noting little till he arrives within sight of the depot, where some freight is being handled, and a trunk or two wheeled down the platform. No sight could be more ordinary or unsuggestive, but it has its attraction for him, and he looks up as he goes by, and follows the passage of that truck down the platform till it has reached the corner and disappeared. Then he sighs again and moves on. A cluster of houses, one of them open and lighted, was all which lay between him now and the country road. He was hurrying past, for his step had unconsciously quickened as he turned his back upon the station, when he was seized again by that mood of curiosity, and stepped up to the door from which a light issued, and looked in. A common eating-room lay before him, with rudely spread tables, and one very sleepy waiter taking orders from a new arrival who sat with his back to the door. Why did the lonely man on the sidewalk start, as his eye fell on the latter's commonplace figure, a hungry man demanding breakfast in a cheap country restaurant? His own physique was powerful, while that of the other looked slim and frail. But fear was in the air, and the brooding of a tempest affects some temperaments in a totally unexpected manner. As the man inside turns slightly and looks up, the master figure on the sidewalk vanishes, and his step, if anyone had been interested enough to listen, rings with a new note as it turns into the country road it has at last reached. But no one heeded. The new arrival munches his roll, and waits impatiently for his coffee, while without, the clouds pile soundlessly in the sky, one of them taking the form of a huge hand with clutching fingers reaching down into the hollow void beneath. End of chapter 41.